Just a bit off the top from me, guys. Super stoked to be launching season 2. A bunch of new episodes coming up with a bunch of new people. Pumped to hear what you guys think of it all. Have a watch. Hey guys, welcome back. Another episode of the Ask a Muso podcast brought to you by Jim's Cleaning, Bottom South. Super excited for this guy. He's a pal from what seems like a different country these days. Another big sound percussion fam, one very important figure in that group. And without any further ado, James, going to pass over to you. Give us a bit of a rundown, give us the brief intro, and tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, hey mate, and everyone listening. My name's James Noble, originally from a little place just outside North London, obviously in the UK. Been over here 4 years, here with my partner and my little girl, who's just turned 1. I'm a drummer in Catholic Guilt and pianist as well in Catholic Guilt, and now also was a artist for Big Sound, just like yourself, and me and Steve, the owner, have just become business partners, so that'll be something good to talk about as well. So that's something brand new. But yeah, that's me in a really quick nutshell. Yeah, thanks.
So I suppose we'll start with Catholic Guilt. About the group, how did it all kick off? Has it always been your baby, or have you joined in along the way? Tell us a bit about it.
So it's the latter, yeah. So Brenton and Bryce, lead vocals and guitarist, they started the band back in 2018. They were just an acoustic duo, and they obviously wrote some really great songs, and then thought, actually it might be better with a kind of full band, and they had a couple of session artists, and then we're looking for musicians. So I joined in 2019 at a point where they just started to kind of make a name for themselves here in Melbourne, and then we added Ben, who's the bassist, and Dean, the second guitarist. We're a 5-piece, and I guess the niche thing that we really kind of pride ourselves on is we write stories. So all the songs are written around personal events in our lives, and it's really raw and emotional lyrics. Our live performance is an emotional roller coaster. I think that's the best way of describing our live set. We always have the audience coming up to us and saying, we're connected with this song because of this, or this song because of this. Like they're very emotive songs, and we don't really fit in a genre per se. You could say it's punk rock, to generalize it, but there's, you've got a bit of folk in there, you've got your pop punk, you've got your punk, you've got your rock, you've got your anthemic kind of emo early 2000 vibe going on, which is a great revival that's coming through Australia at the moment, which is great. So we've got all these different genres that we take influences on, but it's based around the song and how we feel that song should be written based on emotion and the story itself.
That honestly sounds quite moving. Unfortunately, through obvious reasons, I haven't had a chance to enjoy that in a live capacity, but it really is something special when you can connect with an audience night in, night out, and rather than playing the songs, we've seen lots of people, I'm sure you're the same, that have seen lots of people that can play the songs, and they play their songs really well, but you're pretty much getting the album in person, and I want a performance. You want something else, you're bringing something else entirely, and that's magic. That's the whole idea of it. That's the brilliance of the live performance, I suppose. Like, how long have you been playing drums for previous? Was this something that you've been progressively doing, and then you sort of just found a new love for it when you moved to Australia, or?
Yeah, so I guess from a drumming perspective, I've been in various bands in the UK since I'm 32 now. Since I was 18, well, apart from the high school bands, I don't think they count.
We've all done that.
Yeah. Faded Facade was my first ever band. I was 15, and we were all from the same areas, like Enter Shikari. So we were all playing in like little bands at the same time. And so my first ever show was at a place called Club 85 in Hitchin, which is actually was quite a prolific venue back in the 2000s. But anyway, it was called Zero Punk. It was kind of like Nine Inch Nails, metal, electronic kind of, yeah, it was weird. It's like still on YouTube, on iTunes actually. That's my first like real serious band. But then I joined a band called Alone with Wolves. We made ourselves pretty well known over here as well. Actually, I think we had a pretty good following over here back in 2011 through to 2016, and that was classic metalcore, clean vocals, scream vocals, and then that disbanded, and then I moved to a band called Seasons, who shot to some real big success in the UK very early on, and then it just got to a point in my life where I had the opportunity to move out here, and I kind of weighed up everything back home, band-wise, work-wise, and I felt Melbourne was my calling, and then I moved out here, and Catholic Guilt's been my only band, and will probably be my only band, moving forward. So
that's awesome. See, it's nice when you can pick the bits you've grabbed from other places, especially when it's like almost other cultures, like a different way, whole different scene, and you can pick those bits and playing multiple different genres and things like that. And pick how you can sort of put them into, I suppose, what you now have with Catholic Guilt and all those sorts of things. I guess I'm curious to know how did you sort of get into the fold with Steve and the Big Sound Percussion thing once you moved with Catholic Guilt? Was it? Yeah, I'm curious to hear your story on that one.
I do have a side project that's bubbling away in the background very, very slowly. I'm not playing drums, from actually vocals and synth in that. The bassist in that side project, he mentioned Big Sounds, and he mentioned that one of his friends, who now I'm really good friends with, Joe Larwood from Jurassic Park, good shout out there, what a legend. So I just rang Steve. I just gave him a call, and we started talking, and instantly had a great connection there, because he's just such a lovely guy, and we spoke about some sticks, and he dropped off some 5As and 5AA. I was like feeling them. I was like, this is like the extra length that I've always. What are you using?
I use 5AAs as well. Yeah, so I have my usual 5AAs, and then I have still a couple of pairs left that Steve made of the Baileydrummer 5AAs. He printed them out. So now the 5AAs, they're a great stick. I need that extra length. I played a lot of traditional stuff, a lot of jazz, and I used to get black fingernails playing traditional grip if I hit a rim shot, and I was missing, and I couldn't go back to a regular length stick now.
I hadn't had that level. You could be really surprised. I was actually playing Pro Mark 7As prior, which is such a thin, small stick, and I'm a heavy hitter, and I was obviously going through them. I don't know why I was using them retrospectively, because I think psychologically, I always feel drumsticks are psychological. Sometimes when, like for me, I felt like I could move faster with thinner, smaller sticks. But then there was always something missing. As soon as I went over to these 5AAs, I was like, oh my God. I was like, these feel great. The balance, the weight, the length. And I was just like, yeah, great. So then, Steve and I obviously moved forward with the contracts, and obviously became an artist just like yourself. We talk a lot over the last 15 months. And I saw some real potential in this. As you know, this brand, the product is so good. Aside, Steve being the guy that he is and what he's created, it's, as you know, Big Sound is family at the core of drummers supporting throughout Australia, and that is what I love. I feel like it's an incredible thing to have, and I was obviously lucky I'm grateful to be a part of that family. And then I guess, in the last 3-4 months, I was doing a few back end things, kind of chatting to Steve, chucking out some ideas, and then a few meetings we had, and came with a few ideas, and we actually signed the contract last night. So we're now business partners with Big Sounds, and I'm really excited for the future. It's going to be a great time for all the drummers, future drummers. We're really building the brand. It's going to be we've got a few nice things in the pipeline, so looking forward to it.
Absolutely. I'm personally very excited. It's such a big thing, and it's an awesome from our point of view, because there's nothing better than when you got someone like Steve in there. The last thing you need is an external source that doesn't really get it. They don't really get us. How better to just sort of build it from the inside more, and that family base, all of that is so true. And I've noted that from day one, and there's just really something about it. And at its core, the easiest part to always rely on is it's a quality product, because it wouldn't really get anywhere if they were rubbish. And they are a very quality product, and it's nice to be able to stand by something and go, also, how good are these legends that, that unfortunately I haven't been able to explore with as much. But, JP and I get together and we have a laugh. It's like, the Queensland Wing's got to do something, but...
Well, we've got a new Queensland artist. Not going to say who it is yet, but there is a new Queensland artist that's coming up soon. We'll be releasing in a few weeks. So you'll have another friend up there.
Ooh, friend! Drumming friends! Oh, well, that's good then. Well, that's good. Excellent. Sweet. It's all coming together. The master plan's all coming together. I'm planting the seed. But no, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to have that. I got to ask, experience-wise, what would have to be your most... now, you can take this two ways. Memorable performance, like memorable gig. A lot of people say it can be more like, I played in front of my friends and family and everyone was moved and they all cried. That was memorable. Or you can say, I, played Arrow on Swanson and there was people out the door and no one could even get in because they were so packed. What's the most memorable gig for you to date?
First thing that came to my head, and I know you didn't want to bring up the C word. C word? Wait, which way is it? That way?
Oh, look, I think everyone involved in this is a bunch of C's, just quietly, but...
Yeah. We were fortunate, Catholic Guilt, we were fortunate to have a show, literally, so obviously you know how hard it has been for Victorians and the industry nationwide, but particularly here in Victoria, it's been crazy. But we were really lucky, after that long lockdown of 130 days or however long we were in lockdown, we had because we're part of Destroyer Lines, they put us on a show at Stay Gold, which is obviously owned by Destroyer Lines, here in Brunswick. And there was just something about that show that was so magical and euphoric, and it was just incredible. And I'll tell you why. We obviously sound checking everything, and people start phoning for it. Sold out, obviously because I think you're only allowed 150 people in there at the time. But every single one of the people that were in that room were just so happy to be back in front of live music, irrespective of the bands playing. It could have been anyone that night, okay? And we were just really lucky to be on stage. And there was just this, I'm getting goosebumps talking to you about it right now. There was a magical presence in that room where we played the best show as well. It was crazy. Like, we had a flawless show. But I'm quite critical on myself as a drummer. So if I've played 5 dud notes or something in a set, or 10 dud notes, whatever, or I've whacked my finger or something, I'll get off stage and I'll be really hard on myself. But I remember just coming off stage, I was like, holy shit. Sorry if I'm not allowed to swear. Holy shit. I was just like, that was just incredible. The crowd was incredible. And it was just, it was a very magical show for everyone to be back literally 2 weeks after we came out of that lockdown. So that one will always, out of the hundreds, maybe thousands of shows that I've played in my 32 years, that one will always be a very special show.
Yeah, I could imagine that being quite a moving experience for everyone. I think, yeah, you get it's hard, you bring the worst out of people by pushing them into smaller and smaller boxes, and then when they finally get their chance, it was everyone, as you said, everyone wanted to be there. There was nothing else on the mind. You were their sole focus. Everyone was their sole focus that night, and yeah, that would have been I can imagine that would have been a very special evening for sure. So, for Catholic Guilt, where are you guys at the moment? Like, are you in the process of working on anything in particular at the moment? Are you trying to play shows when you can? So, that's a challenge in itself. Like, what's the plan?
Yeah, so the plan was we had a tour and festivals in the US that we were going to be playing, because our record label's in LA. Wiretap Records, shout out to them, and Rob there, thank you very much. And so we had that, and then off the back of our release, This Is What Honesty Sounds Like, which was done really well. The first video that we brought out last year, which was Boutique Affair. It was called The Accidental Anthem of the Pandemic, because that song's about the older you get, the harder it is to make friends, and you feel isolated. And the video kind of went with that as well, and it did really well. We've got like 160k views, something like that, which is quite good just for a little Aussie band.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it did really well. The EP did really well, and then we were supposed to be touring with that, but everything was cancelled. At the moment, it's really hard to book, get excited about anything in music, because it's just still like that. It's just so unknown.
What are you guys doing? Like, I know what Total Radio Silence have done to keep things fresh and those sorts of things. What are you guys doing to keep things fresh, to keep the energy there, and to, not just, obviously you can create new things, which is grouse, but you want to have a chance to play the stuff you created beforehand. Like, we're putting together parts for a third album, and we've only played our second album like 4 times live because we haven't had a chance.
Yeah, no, okay, and that's great, and that's what I was alluding to, was despite that, in the background, we are working on a new record, which is sounding great. It's, yet again, very Catholic Guilt, playing with genres, genre hopping. One of the biggest things of the EP was that it ended too soon, which is obviously a nice problem to have. People were very disappointed. It was a pretty solid EP, I felt, in regards to track-wise. It was all killer, no filler. And we obviously strive to do that. I think every musician strives to do that. So we've got we're working very hard on new material. We're making sure that whatever is put out is all killer, no filler.
Put it on a t-shirt, babe. Put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but whatever. We are just about to release vinyl of the EP, and it's actually got a B-side, which has got 2, classical piano, because that's my other thing that I play with on the stage, is I do piano and switch between the drums and piano, and I think even in one song I'm playing drums and piano at one time. So we're doing a B-side on the vinyl, which is just Brenton and myself, and I'm really, really excited about that, because no one's heard that yet properly, apart from, if you've seen our live show, you'll see it. We do one song, and so we've got a couple of tracks from the original EP that's recorded piano and vocals. It sounds really nice.
That's really awesome. That's super exciting. It's nice when there's someone in the group that has not even just a hidden talent, because everyone knows you have the talent, but like something that you can go on to, and that's very exciting. I'm very excited to hear that. We've actually been rearranging the house and have a new space now for a new record player that we're actually going to rig with our soundbar and set up. So I know we'll be spinning on it.
Yeah, thank you. That'd be nice. But yeah, no, definitely. I guess one of the key things from our set and what we've heard and our feedback is, by having that not many pop punk bands have piano in it, have that kind of classical side. It's a very, yet again, niche thing, and it's, you know, like Yellow Card had the violins, but obviously through, you know, we've got that, you know, blessed that I've got that ability and I've worked hard on that ability, but it's really nice. It fits in with a real nice dynamic when we're taking our audience through that emotional roller coaster, and we drop and down, and we're now just piano and vocals, and then we build it back up, and then it's quite, as I said, it's quite an emotional set, and I think that having that extra texture within the set really does add to that emotional dynamic. So yeah.
There's going to be so many more things that are coming out as we go, and I'll be sharing it around far and wide. But where can the people find Catholic Guilt? Where can the people find you?
Facebook at Catholic Guilt Music, Instagram at Catholic Guilt Music. Obviously, Big Sound Percussion on Instagram and Facebook as well. Myself, it's just James Noble. All your platforms that you would normally stream your music on, and yeah, thank you for all the support up until now. So yeah,
it's been awesome, and it's so cool to know that someone who is doing, and a group of people that are doing so bloody well come from around the corner, and it's a pleasure to be sort of associated with a bunch of people that are at the top of their game and are only going from strength to strength, and the hype that we build in those group chats and those sorts of things about, oh, this new thing's coming, and wow, everyone's slamming the Love Reacts as soon as it comes in, and watch this new video I put in. It's everything that you want from the community, and it's so awesome to have a bunch of guys and girls that just love that, and they get around everyone else so much, and I think that's ever present now, super important now, but it's just been awesome the whole time, and it's very warming to know that.
As I said, the sole focus of Big Sound, you know, moving forward as it has been from the start, that family, that supporting of each other as musicians, to support us in such a hard industry to be in, especially now as well. That, you know, I do find it funny sometimes when, you know, you've got, like, you know, people, my friends back home, you know, it just takes a quick second to like and share, and it's actually quite a powerful thing, because you could have 1,000 friends on Facebook and you just shared it, and let's say 30 people just really like it. You know, you don't know, 10 people, 5 people. It's such a powerful tool that I want to encourage, you know, everyone to share, you know, Total Radio Silence, everyone's music, and that's what we do as this community, and what we'll continue to do. And yeah, I think that'll be obviously a key thing when new artists come in, is that we're only bringing artists that are gonna fit into that vibe, because we don't want that ever to change.
You've nailed it perfectly, and every reason why someone might say, oh, so why do you play with these guys? It's just because it's local. It's like, it's so much more than that. I remember when I first looked at cymbals and sticks and all that, I was curious to always find an Australian option, a local option, but with Steve and Joshy Rec, I'm very spoiled, and they're also a quality product. I wouldn't talk it all the way to the kingdom and back if it wasn't a quality product, and it's exciting to see what you and Steve are going to put together and how we can work things up, and yeah, it's very exciting. And up north, as more people come to light, and hopefully we can get together and we can share a few beveraginos in the very near future, I hope.
Yeah, I hope to get us all together at one point as well. That's on my to-do list, let's say.
It's well and true at the top of mine as well, and I know JP, we'll do a road trip.
JP is so keen.
We're so keen. Oh, I've got to put the leash on him before I put him in the car. He'll hate me for saying that, but he knows it. So I'll shout out to all the Big Sound Percussion artists. You guys are absolute legends, and shout out to one particular legend in front of me, James Noble. It's been a pleasure, mate, and I look forward to how we do things in the future, and the future of Big Sound Percussion with you and Steve at the helm.
Yeah, you too, brother. Thank you so much for having me. It's a real honour, real pleasure. Thank you.
Well, there we go, guys. That's another episode of Ask a Muso podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to James. So many exciting things come up in the drummer's world as a Big Sound Percussion artist, and just around from the bottom of Victoria to the top of Queensland and everywhere in between. So once again, these are only coming out on YouTube, so make sure you don't miss an episode, and you subscribe on my YouTube every Tuesday. They're coming out. Until next week, I'll see you later.